If you're tired of throwing interceptions every time you drop back to pass, or you're tired of getting sacked by mid-blitz every play, this is going to be the best video you watch because I'm breaking down 5 tips that will transform your offense and have you scoring every drive. I will warn you though, if you skip any of these, it could be the reason you still suck on offense. Let's jump right into it. The first thing you need to do before you do anything else is make sure you have the best offensive settings equipped. Let me show you. All right, so if we come into our settings, game options, or you can do these actually on the main menu, or you can do them in game. Passing type, placement and accuracy. All right, we're gonna talk about this later in the video. Make sure you stick around. Pass lead increase, small or none. Don't touch medium or large, small or none. If you want to be able to, pass lead streaks down the field, I'd say small has a high risk, high reward. Higher risk, higher reward than none. For beginners, I would definitely recommend none. All right, radical speed, 8 out of 20. All right, and these two are user only, but that's not it with offense. I'd say offensive coaching adjustments important, but defensive ones are a little bit more important. But if we come into auto pass protection, you don't have to touch any of these other ones, all right? These don't matter. Just make sure you have auto pass protection on base or on empty. All right, I would say base is really great. That's just why I leave it on. Like, if you just want to set it and forget it, base protection is going to be really good, because what you're going to see is our offensive line basically already has base blocking. Which just means they have the default pass blocking, and I can change them if I want to. So I can still half slide, I can still full slide, I can do whatever I want, but now they're just gonna come out like this at the line of scrimmage to start the play. All right, and this is gonna be very, very powerful for you here, because I'm gonna show you what happens when you leave it potentially on off. And what's going to happen is EA is going to give you trash pass protection, all right? So if they want to shift their D-line in this direction, so to the right, sometimes EA will give you this pass protection where they're going to half slide your line to the left, all right? And if you don't have auto pass protection on base, you're just going to snap the ball, and you're just going to see a guy's going to come in completely free off the edge because they're overloading one side, but then you're sliding your line the other way. And, you're just not even going to recognize that because you're not paying attention. And so really, that's the main reason you need to make sure that you have auto pass protection on base. But those are the best offensive settings that you need to have on. All right, next you need to start using this crazy trick that makes your RPO offense better. Let me show you. All right, so if we're on offense, right, you're going to see we're going to have an RPO, all right? We're going to have this play RPO alert bubble, where this is the standard RPO, right? We're going to have Thielen on a bubble, and we're going to be able to take the snap and throw this bubble, all right? And it's great. RPOs have always been really hard to defend for a defense, and taking advantage of them is really good. You see we're able to pick up easy 10 yards, not really doing a whole lot there. Well, all right, so you're going to come into a formation like RPO zone alert Omaha, all right? You need to be in a formation where you can hot route your receivers onto flat routes, because that's what we're trying to do. So you can see how you can't do this out of every RPO anymore, but now you can still do it from specific ones. So again, from this formation, now we're going to put DK on a flat, and he's just breaking outside the flat, and you can see how much more dramatic of a play that is for the defense to stop, because the man, he's not running a bubble, he's not going backwards, he's literally just coming right out to the flat. Boom, break out to the flat, let the block set up, and it's so much easier and harder to guard. RPOs are already hard enough to guard, but when you start putting your guys on flats, well, now that's, extremely, like, nearly impossible to defend, all right? And another great benefit of, having the ability to hot route is that you can even put your tight end on a drag, because let's just say their user wants to jump out here and stop DK. Well, now you can just throw that tight end drag over the middle. Let's just pretend that their user's running out there. Right now, you can just hit that pass over the middle. So being able to, call flats on your receivers, it's just a cool little trick that makes these RPOs way more challenging to defend. And even if they put a hard flat, let's say, on that side to help defend this RPO, well, now you can change it up, put them on a shriek, let that ball rip, and now you have a big gain in the middle of the defense. So start utilizing hot route RPOs to open up your offense. All right, the next important thing you need to make sure that you're mastering is that you're in the right offensive playbook. Let me show you the best one to use. All right, and the best offensive playbook that I'm using right now is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook, okay? So we're going to come into one of their best formations here, gun bunch X nasty, okay? And let me show you a setup that's actually going to be in my offensive ebook. But this is very challenging for the defense to guard. But you're gonna make sure you have your bunch on the wide side just like this. You're gonna put your X receiver right here on a shriek and literally just snap the ball. I have them in random defense because it really doesn't matter. Right here, they're obviously gonna be in cover 3. And so we're just gonna be able to hit that wheel route down the field for an easy touchdown, all right? So this play is what we call an everything beater, all right? These are the types of plays that you need to focus on calling. Right here, it looks like they might be up man coverage. All right, so now we're gonna just hit our crab out of the backfield and everything beaters, right? They beat every coverage. It doesn't really matter what they put in the field, but it doesn't matter what defense they put in the field. This route concept from this play is going to absolutely torch them, all right? And that's why a playbook is very important. More cover 3 defense, more wheel routes up the sideline, right? Cover 3, cover 2, gonna have absolutely no chance versus a play like this, all right? And it really is just about structure. It's just about setting the play up correctly. Right here, you can throw your crab route every time against man, but this time I'll just happily, well, he just didn't create any separation there, but I was just showing you. But you just want to hit your crab route. If they run man, literally just hit that running back out of that backfield, literally every single time. Right here, looks like more zone. I could certainly just hit my crab route, or maybe that was man, but you can see how that crab route's that was actually match coverage. But that route gets open every time. That should be your first read. We're going to talk about progression passing later in the video, but boom, take it, crab route's open, we're hitting it, and this linebacker is going to have no chance. Easy 5 to 10 plus yards. You can see it earlier, we picked up more yards. It's going to be like that every single time with that play. Wheel route, post route to the tight end, crab route to the running back, great option. But we're not just done there with this playbook, because if we come into, I know you're probably tired of getting, beat by press man coverage, so you're going to come into motion stick wheel. We're going to put them in cover 1 robber. All right, we're going to press. I would only really call this play if they're going to run press man-to-man coverage. All right, so it's going to look something like this. I would just block my running back, probably put, probably call something like this, put my tight end on drag, DK on a shriek right here. All right, boom, we're going to take it, and we're just going to try to get Alontae Taylor to get bumped into. Now, shout out to Aaron Rodgers for, absolutely sailing that pass, but you just want bumping to occur, all right? You're trying to get Adam Thielen right here to bump into this corner, Alontae Taylor, and just chip him up, and then that'll open the lob over the top. Now, you can still see we have it open, right? And that's the beautiful part. When you put a speedy receiver right there, there's going to be times where he still, can create separation and get open, but that's why we have other guys open or other routes open on this play, because we're not just going to be reliant right here. We're probably just going to try to throw that pass over the top to DK Metcalf, pass lead outside, and we have a beautiful dot over the top. So when you're playing against press man, you want to give yourself as many options to actually beat that press man. And that's why freeform passing is actually so important, and being able to master it, get that ball away from, a lot of those bigger defenders. But boom, again, he doesn't bump, but he still is able to create separation over the top just because he's a super fast receiver. So this is a really great play against man coverage, one that you need to start using, again, from the Steelers playbook. All right, and the best part about that Steelers offense is you can go to the link down below in the description in the pinned comment, bltforlife21.com, and grab it today for 15% off using code DM. I can't wait to see you there. All right, your problem right now is that you're too antsy in the pocket. If they take away your first read, you don't have anywhere else to go. Let me show you how to progression pass. All right, so the best way to showcase this progression passing is to put them in random defense, and I'm gonna call it random play. All right, so this is gonna be my route concept. And then this comes back to the everything beaters. When you call these everything beaters, you have to, have a real read progression here, okay? So this is gonna be my play. All right, we're gonna have a crosser, we're gonna have a shriek, we're gonna have a zig, an out, and a flat, all right? The first read of this play is always gonna be the table route to the halfback. If they give it to us, and it's it's not like a 3rd and long, 4th and long type of play, we're gonna try to hit this pass and pick up easy yards, okay? Then we're gonna progress up to A, right, Valdez Scantling. Then I'm gonna look for Jonnu Smith. And then it's like, technically I could look to my out route too. So technically I'm looking to my 2 flats first, so B and Y. But really I'm, primarily looking for Y, RB, and A on this play. That's the 3 guys that I think can get open versus any defense. So we're just gonna take the snap, all right? And this is what I'm talking about. They give us this pass. I don't have to, make any other changes. Like, I can just hit my first read, beautiful. Obviously, that's not always going to be the case, but you have to clearly define what is your first read on a play. Boom, all right, I see they're gonna take it away, so then I'm gonna get to my next read, okay, which is going to be that tight end. Now, notice how that's only 2 yards, okay? They played good defense on that play, right? They were running man coverage, none of my guys really got open, all right? So sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the defense. They made a good play, but you don't wanna get antsy in the pocket, start eating sacks, making reads. You're gonna notice I'm pretty much never gonna take a sack when I'm calling this play and I'm locked in on offense, because I'm just making reads. I'm just going through my read progression. I already came up with a route concept that I know can beat every defense. Now it's just about reading what defense is on the field after the snap. Boom, we see they just give us this. I mean, that's easy yards. You're able to make guys miss after the catch, and you're able to pick up more than a first down on that play by, again, taking our first read. If they're not gonna take away the first read, you're just gonna hit it, okay? The main thing, though, is just stepping up in the pocket. And where am I looking? That might be a question that you're asking. Really, when I snap the ball, I'm looking at their outside corners first, because I want to know, are they in cover 3 or are they in like cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, or are they in man? All right, the corners, when I snap the ball, I'm just going to read the corners and see where they're going. And that's pretty much going to tell me the coverage. Then I'm going to look at where their user defender is, which in this case, there's no user, right? I'm in practice mode, but that would just be looking over the middle of the field where the linebackers are dropping to. All right, and then I'm just going to look underneath. You know, is the slot corner coming down or is he blitzing? All right, boom, take it. Again, corner drop, so that tells me they're in cover 2. And so then we're just going to hit our first read. So you're going to notice that if you watch me play, you know, you're going to notice that I'm going to hit the first read if they give it, right? I'm very rarely going to miss that first read because it's the first thing I'm looking at. Right here, I'm actually going to step up in the pocket, and that's another key, is if they take everything away, that's why pocket presence is really important. Stepping up in the pocket to make it easier on yourself to just take off, you know, when they take everything away. Boom, they're going to take away the first read by having him manned up, so I don't want to throw that. I could have probably hit Jonnu right here, but I noticed that the offensive line was doing a good job blocking, so I can step up and go ahead, just take off and slide down, all right? So progression passing is really just calling route concepts that you know can beat a lot of different defenses, and then just going through, like I said, your read progressions and making it easy. You don't have to overcomplicate anything, and you're gonna notice I don't think I've taken a single sack or let my quarterback get hit one time calling that route concept against multiple different defenses, because I'm trained with every single defense what to do. All right, like I said earlier, you're tired of eating sacks every time you play against mid-blitz. Let me show you exactly how to beat it. All right, so we are going to come into gun trips tight end. All right, this is actually, I'm in the Bills playbook right now. But the first thing that we need to make sure that we talk about is the quarterback run game. This is perhaps the easiest turn your brain off way to beat mid-blitz, okay? You see the alignment of mid-blitz. There's 4 defenders on one side, 4 DB, excuse me, on one side of our formation, the trip side, and we're gonna run the other way. If we draw a line right down the middle where the center is, with the center and the quarterback, you can see there's only 4 defenders on that side. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers on that side. Okay, this is just a numbers game. It's gonna be very easy every single time for you to just get out to the edge and score easy yards. All right, it's just what I'm talking about. It's literally just a numbers game. We have 5 blockers on that side. They only have 4 defenders on that side of the field. Their alignment's terrible against this. If that running back, like right there, James Cook, he can actually, you know, seal that defender off, not let him set the edge. Your quarterback's going to be able to get out every single time versus this. Like, it's so easy. It takes a horrible missed assignment for this not to work. Okay, but the thing is, a lot of people, they're not going to run mid blitz like that. They're going to bring this guy down. All right, but you're going to see, even when they bring this guy down, all right, now they might create an extra guy. Cool, good for them. But it's the same thing to the other side of the field, right? Because he's essentially standing in the middle. Like, unless they know this play is coming, they're not going to be able to stop it, no matter how they run mid-blitz. If they run man coverage out of mid-blitz, or they're trying to defend trips tight end out of mid-blitz, like, they even have a guy come in free. But I'm running the other way, and I'm going to be able to get out to the edge every single time. I can cut it back if I want to. I can do whatever I want. So really, that's the first way that you should try to utilize, or excuse me, try to beat mid-blitz. Okay, the second way is by just blocking the blitz, okay? All you want to do is half slide your offensive line away from your halfback, okay? Block your running back, and then ID this defensive end on this side. All right, so the pass protection is going to look something like this. All right, you're going to half slide, and then you're going to ID, okay? pass protection looks like this. Now you just have to worry about beating the defense. You just have to worry about like actually getting guys open. All right, and so some of the best ways you can utilize core routes, you can, you know, put your guy on a drag, boom. All right, now you can see how the blitz is blocked perfectly, and I am able to get a guy wide open on a drag. You have to understand that your tight ends are going to do a really good job of like beating man coverage in this game, especially when they play off man. Beautiful job, right? Easy work, and we're able to hit this underneath the row, and it's very easy. But the key thing, the blitz gets blocked. Why? Because all of our linemen pick up their 5 guys, and then they let a defensive end come in free. Boom, we pick them up with our back, and then we're able to just hit our throw, okay? It really just comes down to actually just playing the game and understanding what you're trying to do and how you're going to actually do it, okay? Block this blitz very easily. We can set the same route concept up, or since they're playing off man, just throw your core out on the break. Very easy, okay? So when they run mid blitz, you're just going to eventually just get them out. You're just gonna rage quit them out of mid blitz. Like, they're gonna have to run something else to be able to beat you, because if you just spam core routes and spam QB runs, again, this isn't really offense. You're not even really doing anything. You're just making one read. Oh, curl route, off man coverage, easy. And even if they run on man coverage press, that still beats it. But the main thing that I want you to just take away from this is come into a trips tight end formation that has this QB zone. There's other QB runs in this game, but if you come to like the Bills playbook, I'll have the playbooks on the screen that this specific play is found in, but this is like the easiest way to get them out of mid blitz. All right, if you found those tips helpful, just imagine all the tips I have in my offensive ebook. Go to the link down below in the description and pin comment and grab it today for 15% off. But if you want to play lockdown defense, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there.